Matthew 19:9 is usually misinterpreted, and we have to understand what Jesus is actually talking about. First off, when they asked him about divorce, he gave the reason why it even happened in the first place. Moses granted it based on what? The hardness of your heart. He made a concession for the flesh. In the beginning, it wasn't so. God never created his divine institution to ever be broken apart. But he does give a concession, and he makes the distinction in saying fornication, which is sexual immorality before marriage. Fornicators are people who aren't married but are having sex. During this time, we must also understand what he was talking about exactly. An engagement. If you find that someone you're supposed to marry has committed fornication, you can then put them away. The marriage hasn't taken place yet because it hasn't been fully consummated. Only then. Well, why wouldn't he have just said adultery if that's what he was actually talking about? Because by this time, if you're committing adultery, you're already someone's spouse. You're already married. You're already in the covenant. If you read, Joseph wanted to put Mary away. Why? He thought that was somebody else's baby. The Holy Spirit had to come to him and assure him that this was divine intervention and he can take on Mary to be his wife. This does not excuse adultery. It doesn't make it less sin. It doesn't make it less painful. But it is not the grounds to break your covenant. By no means am I telling you to stay in an abusive situation. And for a time, people may separate because things indeed become abusive. But you have no permission to just go out and date and fornicate or even remarry. You should reconcile or remain unmarried. Now, Jesus goes on to say, this is pretty tough. Not everybody can do it. You don't need to take my word for this. You need to pray and ask the Holy Spirit for understanding. I'm not misleading you at all by telling you to do that. Don't just take my word for it. Study the word. Ask God to show you what all this really means. You also need to understand context. You have to understand the time that it's being said and the context and how we are perceiving it in modern times.